Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be doing our weekly recap for February 25th through the 1st of March 2019. We're going to be taking a look at last week's changes for the week. We're going to jump and take a look at the four main indexes, S&P, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and the Russell 2000. Take a look at what their performance is for the week. We're going to take a look at stock futures, positive or negative. It can change over the week. Take a look at the entire S&P 500 here for the week, whether what stocks went up, what stocks went down. I know Apple helped my portfolio, kind of pushed my portfolio higher, whereas everything else is sort of in the middle. And then we're going to take a look at financials, home builders, oil, silver, gold, bonds, and then wrap it up with the mortgage rates and just a quick summary for the week. So if you are brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button below. If you do enjoy the video, find it helpful, hit the thumbs up. And if you have any comments, questions, going over anything in today's video, personal finance, stock market, drop it in the comment section. I always appreciate all your guys' comments. And let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my screen around here and take a look at last week's performance. Everything was green. We have been green week after week after week. I don't believe we've had a red week here for quite a while. I'd have to look back at my weekly recaps, but last week S&P up 0.61%, Dow Jones up 0.57, Nasdaq up 0.74, and then my portfolio got a nice boost, I believe mainly from Apple and a lot of other little stocks in there, up 1.42% for the week. Now the S&P 500 cooling off a little bit this week. It's still positive here by 0.39%. I know we gapped up here on Friday. That was a little bit unexpected. And Fed came out, some economic news came out towards the end here on Friday, kind of pushed us lower, but we ended up recovering and coming out positive by 0.69% on Friday, basically wiping away all these losses here for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Year to date, S&P up 11.84%. Dow Jones again kind of followed along the same path here. 5-day basically ended up flat, down 0.02. Year to date up 11.57. Nasdaq is our winner this week, up 0.9%. So pretty good news out there for the Nasdaq here. Technology, semiconductors going positive. I've seen a lot of Chinese stocks bouncing back, such as JD, and I saw a couple other ones out there, that the car company NEO, I believe, or something of the sorts. So Nasdaq up 14.47% year to date. That is in second place, right behind the Russell 2000. Now this one's only down 0.03%, so basically flat for the week. And this one is currently the winner of the four main indexes here that we track, up 17.88% for the year. Now the emerging markets, I'll probably end up removing this as in the next coming weeks. I've been saying this, but still tracking it here. 5-day change down to 1.28%. Year to date, this thing is already up 8.78%. I've seen a lot of investors kind of, now that we've already gapped up, we're up for the year 11%. I've seen some investors going international. They're looking over at Australian, they're looking at German and Japan and different international stocks out there to add to their portfolio. Stock futures are currently positive. I don't see anything negative. I know President Trump came out saying that in the next 2 weeks we should have something of the sorts for the trade deal, so that is what's kind of pushing everything a little bit higher, but they might kind of try and swing some news out that there's a couple extensions onto that. So we have the White House economic limiting buybacks could create zombie firms. Kind of interesting. I had some stuff shared out on the Discord. I'm part of the Intelligent Money Investing Discord, little chat group in there. A lot of guys sharing some useful information. So some of these stocks this week that lagged behind here, we can see nothing that stands off right off the bat that's common here. Some of the most active stocks after hours, a lot of positive stocks. This is really good for next week. A lot of after movement positive. So we have Microsoft, AMD, General Electric, Exxon, Pfizer, Cisco, Ford, Apple, Coca-Cola, Bank of America, AT&T, Micron Technology. A lot of positive momentum kind of going forward for next week. So that's a pretty good sign right there. We have Antero Resources Corp, not familiar with that company, up 4.7% here. S&P 500, again, pretty positive here on Friday. We ended up positive, so you can see some of the major drugs and major airlines were a little bit down. Walmart coming down. I believe that may have been a backlash of them kind of getting rid of some of their service greeters up front. I know there was an article that was kind of being floated around that they're going to be discontinuing or kind of removing their greeters up front. And I saw a little bit of backlash out there on that. Telecom coming down slightly here on Friday, but for the most part, pretty positive there. Now, if we're taking a look here at our 1 week performance for the S&P 500, you can see Apple up 1.16%, and large holding of Apple in my IRA, that kind of helped push my portfolio higher. We can see Google up 2.86, Amazon up 2.46, CRM, Intel, Adobe, Microsoft. Some of the financials, they're sort of 50-50. We have JP Morgan and CMA. I'm not familiar with that one right off the hand. Healthcare, kind of slightly down. I saw CVS drop 6% there. That kind of made me eye a little bit. I know I've been wanting to take a look at Walgreens. I don't see Walgreens in here, so I may have to take a look at that. I know T-Rowe came down last week. Kraft Heinz continuing to fall. Even after last week's 30% drop, it continues to fall an additional 7.3%. This is getting really close to that $30 point and could possibly see $20 here. Let's see, take a look here at the after hours and where it's at. So it's coming back here in the after hours up 0.4%. So we shall see how this one kind of plays out for the following week. I've seen some investors jump into Kraft Heinz at around that $35 point. So kind of interesting. I made a video last week on my stock buys, why I wasn't buying Kraft Heinz. SPG is one of my ETFs or my real estate investment trusts that I own. They came out with some mall numbers that weren't very positive, and that pushed that stock down here on Friday, down about 3%. Just some retail stores not looking so hot. So financials this week up 0.87. You can see here JP Morgan was one of the financials that didn't do so well, but still financials moving higher by 0.87, up here 12.05. Semiconductors up 0.52, year to date 23.14. We have home builders popping down 1.5%. I didn't expect that. That's kind of interesting, but they have popped up higher year to date 18.76%. So a little bit of a cool off. I don't know if this is the Fed coming out saying that they're, the old, not the current chairman, but one of the past Fed guys came out Friday saying that they're looking at possibly raising rates here in the next quarter here for 2019. So I think that's what kind of dropped this down. United States oil down 2.43%, year to date up 20.7. The dollar this week, kind of interesting here, moving about sideways here. So not a whole lot of movement here. So we started off about 96.49, currently at 96.44. So just basically trending sideways right there with the market basically staying flat. Silver this week dropped 5.02%. So here, back down into the low $14 range. So this was high at a $16 point not too long ago. So if we take a look here at the 3-month period, we can see that we broke above the 15 here for early or late January through some parts of February, and now we're dropping back down into that $14 point. I'm not sure where the sort of support or bottoming out point will be here with silver. I've seen a lot of investors kind of jumping into it. So they probably seen that the markets have been going on fire, so they're, the fear of missing out. And as they're invested in this material here, the gold and silver that are maybe moving up a few percent at a time, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and Nasdaq are jumping up several percentages at a time. So gold this week, again, kind of following right behind silver, down 2.88%. Year to date, basically flat, up 0.52%. And bonds this week moving down 0.75. Now, I know over on my Facebook page, I was talking about bonds. I had considered buying into a couple Vanguard bonds and doing a comparison if I had done like a 5-bond fund and put like $10,000 into it over the course of a year, would it measure up to the performance of putting $10,000 into a high yield savings account at 2.25, 2.35, and with the expense ratios, the uncertainty of the market, and the actual yield of the portfolio, it didn't make sense to have that money invested just to be able to get like a long-term capital gain on it or insert so it makes more sense to just take that cash that you want to have sitting on the side. Don't invest it in bonds. If you want no risk exposure while still getting some sort of a return, don't invest it in bonds. Move it into a high yield savings account, move it into a no penalty certificate of deposit, and instead of having it in bonds, just kind of have it there in one of those funds, still making 2.35% with little risk to the downside. Bonds here, 5-year 2.56. Last week it was 2.47, so rates are kind of moving up here. Last week 2.66 for the 10-year, now 2.76, and 30-year 3.02, now 3.12 for the week. Prime rate remains the same, 5.5. That's not going to change until sometime probably after July. I also noticed here rates are bouncing back up. So last week we had a rate of 4.48%. We're now at 4.53 for our national average there on mortgage rates. Now, a couple articles here that I posted, Monday they came out saying, hey, we're in for an imminent deal. They gave a actual date. They said 2 weeks out, we're going to have some sort of a trade deal here started, or another extension. I made my Monday buys video. I bought 5 stocks there, plus Avi rolled in there. Dividends of $6.27 from Avi, Caterpillar $2.81 for a total investment of $124.46. Increased my total dividends going forward by $4.19. If you watch my video on my monthly performance for M1 Finance, I had like 5 stocks increasing dividends during February. My overall dividends for the portfolio between January and February increased by 6%. So I went from like $405 of dividend income to $426 of dividend income, somewhere within that range. If you guys want, you guys can check out that video. Warren Buffett came out saying that the times are changing. His performance by investing in these blue chip companies that have been around for years and decades and such, he can't keep up with the S&P 500 performance. So that was an interesting article to kind of read and check out. Lots of companies, if they're not in technology, they're not changing to advance with the current generation, millennials and such, who are health conscious about what they eat, what they bring into their home. They don't want high fructose corn syrup, high fat, processed foods. They're looking for whole foods, unprocessed foods. So a lot of these Kraft and Heinz, General Mills, what else does he have out there? But kind of an interesting thing here. Wendy's, this is something, just a little snippet there. Wendy's has to pay a $50 million for a data breach there. So thought that was kind of interesting, just because here I'm in security. M1 Finance came out and they actually changed the way that they do their statement. So if you look at your statement on M1 Finance, they have a dividend portion, and then they have like another portion at the bottom where you have funds paid and received. Maybe I'll have a video specifically going over statements, but kind of interesting. I thought this was funny. I'm in a lot of groups here on Facebook as far as dividends, financial independence, from real estate groups. And one of the investors is out there saying, I don't buy anything with a yield less than 6%. So I thought this would be a really funny. So I should only buy dividend stocks that will continue to grow over time and continue to pay out over the next 10 plus years. And then that to me, my inside voice is going, buy that 6% plus yield. So I thought that was interesting. I've been updating my website, so all my dividends are currently up to date from back in 2017 until 2019 February. That is completely up to date. Oh, here's a video or a picture of how many dividends I have actually received. So in February, I made $34.08 from Merrill Edge. I made $27.75 from M1 Finance. The total for the dividends between Merrill Edge and M1 Finance was $61.83. I also made about $20 off interest for my Marcus no penalty CD, and I got my rent check for my 3 rentals. So all of that there, plus I got paid by YouTube, which was really nice. So a bunch of little things kind of combining we have our Vanguard Fund. So Vanguard just came out today. The articles came out. So now you are able to invest in the S&P 500, ticker symbol VOO, and it's only going to cost you 0.03% expense ratio. So that means for every $10,000 you have invested, it's going to charge you only $3 a week or $3 a year, and you're not even going to see it. So this is $4 versus $3, and this is making it cheaper than just about every fund out there, making it in a competitive area in comparison to ticker symbol SPY. So I believe that was all I posted here for the week, besides our performance here for the week. So S&P 500 again 0.39, yep, that's all correct here. Dow Jones down 0.02, Nasdaq up 0.9, and then my portfolio this week only went up 0.31%. That's keeping in line there with the S&P 500, right about there. That was mainly a lot of help from Apple, whereas some of my performance for M1 Finance was basically flat for the week, or maybe slightly down, due to a few stocks out there. I believe Walmart was one of them, but Apple and my IRA kind of helping balance and actually push it out of the red there. So that is basically all I wanted to cover in today's video. So if you are brand new to the channel, have not yet been here in the past, hit that subscribe button below. I appreciate all your guys' subscriptions as well as the thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, want to drop any sort of information in the comment section, drop it below. I always read and reply to all your guys' comments, and that is it. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.